The valedictorian for the boys' school is Gavin Johns.
Back near the beginning of the year, my class went on the annual senior trip to Washington, D.C. My class had a pretty good trip. During this time-honored A&C tradition, we bonded as a class and learned a little about America's monuments. Despite a little rain, everything went according to schedule, right up until the end. As our class left D.C., on the home stretch, one of the buses carrying half of my classmates was pulled over. The half of my class on the other bus was confused. Then they were bored. Then, as a few minutes turned into an hour, they were angry. Our journey home was put to a halt. Looking back on it now, it foreshadowed the year to come. There are some universally true and all-encompassing things that I could say about my class that go for just about any group of seniors. We joke around. We're pretty smart as a whole. We're a little less mature than we should or could be, and we like stupid pranks a lot. Like that one time before civics when my classmate brought a toolkit to school and took out all of the screws in my desk. Yeah, that was awesome. But 5, 10, or 20 years from now, two things will likely come to mind when we think about our high school careers: our shared experiences, and the fact that we were the class that had our senior year halted by COVID. Like it or not, we are going to be constantly reminded of that by others. It may be in the news, it may be every time we look at our diploma, or it may be in the form of condolences. As the year comes to a close, one of the major points of grief for me is the loss of my last season of baseball at A&C. When I think about it, the COVID situation is a lot like our baseball season in my sophomore year, minus the fun and the baseball. That season, we didn't win a single game. We were plagued. Well, not really. We were just really bad. After every game, our team had a ritual of running to right field, forming a circle, and talking about the game. Oftentimes, our coaches would tell us this: in every game, you either win or you learn. And today we learned. At the time, I couldn't fully appreciate this piece of wisdom because I wasn't in the right frame of mind. But now, I think I get it. This year, even if we learned, we still lost. Despite moving forward with our lives, we still missed out on what were supposed to be some of the highlights of our senior year. We won't get our time back. There is no reset button, and we can't make it up later for extra credit. At the same time, I'm not going to be the person to tell you that we got to have 3 2/3 of the high school experience and that we should be content, because then I would be lying. What I ask is that we learn from our loss and emerge as better people. Cherish the time that we had as a class, whether it be through our shared hardships, like cramming before exams, the leisure time we got in assembly period on Friday mornings, or the times we used Mr. Clip as the cheapest, most shameless punchline in our speeches. Most of all, cherish the connections that we made because of the academy that will last a lifetime. Speaking of connections, I would like to take a moment to recognize the international seniors who have been hit especially hard by this crisis. A few weeks ago, I had an exchange with Jim Deng. Jim sent me a text. The text contained one word: bye. He sent this message before boarding a flight to China where he would have to stay at a hotel for 2 weeks in quarantine. The message hit me especially hard because I realized that I might not see Jim anymore. Our international classmates have put in as much, if not much more work than anyone attending A&C. They adapted to a brand new culture, learned in their second language, and had to leave without any sort of send-off or closure. I wish for their efforts to be recognized, and for them to know that the friendships they made were not in vain. Our time at A&C was extraordinary, but now we have a new challenge. If COVID has taught us anything, I hope it's that we learn to find value in the present and appreciate what we have. There is no fulfilling substitute for physical presence with the people we love. Now, more than ever, we need to increase our drive to create meaningful experiences in our lives. Just this time, it won't be in the form of a school dance in the cafeteria or in one of Mr. Reuter's top secret activities that only the seniors know about. As we move on from our high school careers, we must turn our heads to a changed world with brand new challenges. Even though our paths have diverged, that doesn't mean that we should forget our shared journey. We need to use our experience to make new, long-lasting memories. What I hope is that we use our time spent together, as well as our time spent apart, to create a newfound appreciation for the people and things that come into our lives. At this point, the buses have long since returned home from DC, and the memories of our trip are with us, just as those that we forge in the future will be. And although nothing gold can stay, it is our duty to remember our time at A&C and the unbreakable bonds we've made.